What is your plan to help the small businesses of Georgetown remain unique? Mr. Alexander?
Small business development is very important in the District of Columbia, and what's going on now is atrocious. We're being, all of the small business owners that I've spoken with on the campaign trail talk about basically being taxed out, higher rents, and the taxes not being competitive with Maryland and Virginia. One thing I'd like to do is I'd like to, first of all, attack this two ways. Number one, have you ever wondered why we don't have our own government complex? You go out to Maryland, like Prince George's County, you can do all your business in Upper Marlboro, or if you go out to Montgomery County, you can do all your business in Rockville. Well, here in DC, there's an interesting relationship between developers and politicians. Developers fund the campaigns of politicians, and when they get in office, they pay the developers back by placing agencies in their properties. Last year, that relationship cost us $140 million. And in the last 8 years, we've spent $1.12 billion on rent. We've got to stop this. And one way we can help our small businesses is make sure that they're competitive as far as the taxes around the region. But also, we've got to create a government complex. And I've already found the land for this project. It will be right at the corner of North Capitol and Michigan Avenue. It's 25 acres of land that Mary and Barry bought back in '87 for around $9 million. We can take that through a private-public partnership and create a government complex right there. And the developers, on one half, it will be all of us, 25,000 municipal employees. But on the other half will be an opportunity for restaurants, for other vendors and contractors to have their businesses there so they can have access to those 20,000 employees. This will create a revenue stream. And what it will also do, it will force the developers around the city who will have all of this new office space all of a sudden, they will have to lower their rents to be more competitive with the region, and that will in turn help the small businesses be able to stay in the city.
Thank you very much. Mayor Pente?
So the government doesn't always have the ability to go in and subsidize rents or to be able to help pay percentage of rents. I think what the government does have the ability to do is keep down costs for small businesses and provide the type of services that a government should, so that a small business doesn't have to compensate out of their own pocket. And my family has had a small business in Washington, D.C. since 1984. One of the things that are critical to us is, in our family, and it's true of other small businesses, is the clean and safe working. Is the police department doing their job? Everybody in Georgetown knows that we've been able to establish a great relationship with the businesses, wherein we have cell phone communication, text messaging, so that the businesses and civic leaders of Georgetown can get in touch with the police department very quickly. This has helped to reduce crime over the past 4 years, something critical to small businesses. We have worked with the Georgetown BID to make sure that they have the type of support necessary from our Department of Public Works. We're working right now on street infrastructure, making sure that some of these corridors, the side streets going east-west in the city, finally get the revitalization they need, which will be critical for parking, which will be critical for transportation. And speaking of transportation, as everybody here knows, we've had two major press conferences in the past year. One, about maintaining the circulator routes through Georgetown, and then two, extending them over to Roslyn, and then over to U Street, and to Foggy Bottom, which is going to be critical in bringing more customers to the small businesses here in Georgetown, like Tony and Joe's and others, and then taking our folk who live here back and forth to different places. If you combine that with the investments we've made in the Georgetown Park, Phase 1 is complete, Phase 2 is underway, with the improvements that we've helped to make in the private investment, look at the great work done around the Georgetown Safeway and across the street at Hardy Middle School, or at Hyde Elementary. If you look at the purchase of Jelliff, which opened under the Department of Parks and Recreation for the first time with brand new facilities, we are revitalizing Georgetown in a fantastic way. Later this year, we'll finish on the renovation of the Georgetown Library, which of course had the tragic fire the day of the Easter Market fire, but we quickly found the millions of dollars necessary to improve it. There has been an investment in this neighborhood by my administration that's similar to what we've done in Anacostia, similar to what we've done in Southwest Waterfront, similar to what we've done on Georgia Avenue or Columbia Heights or Rhode Island Avenue. But unlike what you've seen in the past, where neighborhoods were crying out for help from the government and didn't get that type of assistance, with great leadership, like Deputy Mayor Santos and Neil Albert before her,
we'll be able to continue that for 4 more years and keep Georgetown and other neighborhoods thriving. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chairman Gray?
Thank you very much. I've already done a couple of things legislatively, and I will look forward to continuing those as mayor. First of all, there's something called a personal property tax, which is imposed upon businesses in the District of Columbia. And essentially what it does, it says that the tables, the chairs, let's take this restaurant, everything that you see, all the equipment in the kitchen, there's an assessed value of that. At the end of the day, that is taxed. And frankly, it's been taxed at a very high rate, $3.20 per $100 of assessed value. When I became the chair of the council, one of the things that I discovered is that there was an exemption rate of $50,000. In essence, the first $50,000 was not taxed. I was able to work with my colleagues in the council and move through a piece of legislation that raised the exemption rate from $50,000 to $225,000, which has a major positive impact on small businesses in the District of Columbia. In point of fact, what it has done is, for a number of small businesses, eliminated that tax altogether because many of them have equipment that wouldn't be assessed at that high of a rate. The second thing that I did was to work with my colleagues to reduce the commercial property tax rate, and we have a very high commercial property tax rate in the city, $1.85 per $100 of assessed value. We got it lowered on the first $3 million of assessed value to $1.65, which has created thousands of dollars of savings, in substantial part affecting small businesses. In fact, we've paid close attention to it, and I think we want to tweak that legislation somewhat to make sure that those savings then are being passed through for businesses that may be in rental properties. I'm not sure that's always being done. But again, it's reduced the burden on small businesses by thousands of dollars. Thirdly, as mayor, I want to reorganize the Office of the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development so that we create a real estate directorship and we create a business directorship. And a lot of that business directorship will be focused on, first of all, supporting our small businesses, and secondly, working with the regulatory scheme, which is frankly Byzantine in the District of Columbia, to make better sense out of it so that we can help our small businesses understand what's being imposed upon them and help them get through that regulatory scheme. And then finally, I think our small businesses, frankly, have been negatively impacted by the parking rates in the District of Columbia. And I want to look at the fiscal impact of that and see what we can do either to roll back the hours or roll back the rates so that we don't run customers out of the city into Virginia and Maryland.
Thank you. Thank you.